Welcome everyone to the Men Don't Talk podcast. I'd like to big thanks to our sponsors, Loved Ones Forever. We're here today talk about Men Don't Talk. It's a topic that we've kind of been working on, and we've invited Simon here to come along and talk about his experience, his strength, and his hope about kind of a bit about you, Simon. So. What I'm going to do, I'm going to hand it over to you, and then we're going to talk through what you're doing. So let's ask you like where you come from.
I come from Blackheath in South East London. I don't know how to start with. I'll start with my age because that's easier and work backwards. I am 58 years old. I was born in St George's Hospital at Hyde Park, very glamorous part of the world. I lived with my parents in Vauxhall as a child. And as we're talking about Men Don't Talk, at the time it was, just myself and my grandparents. And then my world shattered the day before my 7th birthday when my grandfather died. My whole world just stopped. I think it was because I was extremely spoiled and had such unconditional love. It was amazing. And it's something that I've always carried with me. And I've realised that people don't really talk about things that are that upsetting, especially men. We seem to brush them over. Then I lived with my grandmother in Wales, which was quite funny because they tried to teach me Welsh, but it always came out of a Cockney accent. Said it was a bit of a waste of time. I then came back to live with my parents in Surbiton. I went to an average school. I got 7 O-levels. I did a year of A-levels. It wasn't anything exciting. I decided to become a hairdresser because I was a frustrated artist. I loved art and drawing, but I can't draw. My handwriting's dreadful. I could do things with hair and I understood angles and shapes and dimensions. So I did that. Went to an apprenticeship at Tony and Guy and I actually worked with Tony and Guy, which was fantastic. I've had a pretty successful career, really. I've owned a couple of salons. I've travelled quite a bit. I've spent then, I guess, the last sort of 5 or 6 years teaching. I taught before, and I was an art director of a couple of famous salon groups, but I sort of found my niche in teaching, really, education, so to speak, not just teaching, because it's not just teaching, you're trying to impart more than just ideas and cutting hair. It's a whole thing. It's how to try to treat people, how to respect people. It's things like that. So I was working up until June last year. I was working at college, actually, and I kept on having these back pains. And I think the people I work with just thought my back pains were a sort of psychosomatic reason for me just disliking where I was working, because it didn't fulfill me and I didn't respect what was happening. It just wasn't all the things that I believe in and love, because I'm so passionate about education. This just wasn't doing right for me, and it definitely wasn't doing right for the students. In fact, it's actually hurting the students in the long run. So unfortunately, it was during COVID, and I would moan and groan, bad back. And this is how, when you say men don't talk, you'd go down the pub and say, God, my back's hurting. And people wouldn't say to you, have you seen the doctors? They go, have a lot of Jamesons.
Yeah, have a short.
Yeah, that'll sort it right out, that will. You'll be sorted with that. But this went on for a few months. And I thought to myself, there's got to be something a bit more than this. One morning I woke up and I was in tears. I was actually crying. And my wife, excuse me, phoned 111, and the guys were fantastic. They said, look, I think you better phone 999, get an ambulance to you straight away. Paramedics came, took me straight to hospital, waited around for hours. Now, I do understand about the COVID, and it's the same whether you're male or female. It's the same for everybody. And the guy just said to me, I pulled some muscles. He said, have you been in touch with your doctor? And I said, I've been in touch with a doctor. And the doctor said to me, take some painkillers. And I said to the doctor, painkillers aren't really working.
So have you already tried painkillers?
We've tried painkillers, yeah.
What sort of painkillers did you try? What was they like? Just the standard ones?
Standard ones. Then we went up to codeine.
Yeah, every duty.
Yeah, we were getting onto tramadols.
Yeah, got it.
Really wasn't doing a lot. So I said to the doctor, I said, if this keeps on happening, I can't keep on coming to A&E every week. And he said, well, that's what you have to do. So 2 weeks later, I was back in A&E as expected. And this time I said to the doctor, I want to scan. There's something wrong. And the doctor, he was quite strange. He said to me, you do know that we have to give you an anal examination. I said, I am not really that particularly perturbed right now because I know there's something seriously wrong. And I'm at the age... I was 56 then, kind of 57. So he did the scan, he was great. I found it quite strange, though, that they then put me in a ward. And I just sat there for the evening, and they got taxi home. And off I went, and they said, we'll be in touch. About
how did you feel about it?
I just felt
because you must have sort of like kind of waited about, right?
Yeah,
you've been put in a room and they gone wait there.
Yeah,
so and was there any support there?
No, there was no support. No support. There was no support until just at the end they said, we're going to send you home. We don't keep people in for a bad back. And I said, wouldn't you like to see what I'm like in the morning? So you'd have like a 24 hours of observation rather than you let me go this evening, me phoning up 999 again and just wasting all these resources. Because obviously there's a massive drain on resources now. I don't want to become yet another drain on the NHS.
Did you feel that? Because when you like, we have problems and we think, do you know what, I don't want to go to the doctors because it costs money and everything else is only a bad back.
At first,
it's only a bad back.
Definitely, for the first few months, it's only a bad back.
What was you telling that yourself, or was you asking people? Who did you talk to?
Well, no, I spoke to one person because they had a bad back, another guy, and he was talking about his medical problems. But this is the sort of crux of the matter, isn't it? You're out and about, and you'd say, oh, is such and such about? And it's, oh, what's such and such with a bad back? Not Reggie, Simon, Alan. It's, oh, Reggie with a bad back or Simon with the bad back. So no one really wanted to communicate. And if they did, it was, God, he's boring us again. So you don't really tell people because men don't really want to speak about it. Because they want to have a good time. They don't want to sit around and hear me saying, my back was really hurting today and this and I couldn't get up. So, there wasn't a lot of communication.
Can we go back to the initial, what you must have felt, one day you woke up, and you say for instance, sometimes I'm working and I'll go, oh, for fuck's sake, and I'll put it down to age.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I go, do you know what, I'm aching because I'm old. I'm aching because of that. When you was in your industry, it's like a very female-led industry.
Yeah.
So when you're going to turn around and say to somebody, look, I've got a bad back, obviously, no one's going to say, why don't you go and get that checked out?
Yeah.
Or they're just going to say, get on with it.
Well, I think it was a bit of both. But what was worse, that because when I taught, and because of my size, not exactly felt like, and I'm quite tall, or I was taller, that I spent a lot of time on teaching people how to stand, how to use their body positions so that they didn't get a bad back. You know, this was one of my sort of skills of teaching people sort of self-balance. So when I had a bad back, I thought to myself, maybe I've just had a bad day. You know, maybe I've just done too much. You know.
Yeah. So like when someone turned around and did you feel? It's asking you like kind of the feelings are difficult, you know, but did you feel that because of your stature, your size, people presumed it was because of that?
I don't think anyone...
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, like, they said, well, like, go for a run or go for a jog or you know, a lot of times when people say about it like that, they say, oh, you might need to...
Lose weight.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about it. This is like men don't talk, isn't
no,
it? You know,
it's no big deal. No, I obviously couldn't see a doctor, so he couldn't see how heavy I was.
So why couldn't you see a doctor?
Because there was obviously no face-to-face appointments. Yeah,
I mean, but you did have video calling, but it's really hard to go into a doctor's over a video call and say, my back is hurting.
Obviously,
they can't see your back. You understand what I mean? Yeah, they cannot see you stooping over. They can't see you doing that.
We had no video calls, so it was very difficult. And it was giving me some opium pads. You know, you stick these on.
I've had them, yeah. So, absolute terrible.
And they didn't work. Yeah. So at this point, I'm thinking to myself, there's got to be something a bit more serious. And no one's taken it serious. And I thought to myself, you know, when I went to the doctors, they did ask me all the questions. You know?
What questions?
Because obviously I've now got terminal cancer, prostate cancer, which has spread to my spine, and now it's all through my skeleton. And they said things like, do you get up in the night and wheel up?
Okay, so these are certain symptoms.
Yeah, so there's certain symptoms that... But I did not show any symptoms.
Yeah, but you had a bad back.
But I had a bad back, and it was a bad back which had gone on months.
When you had the bad back, the pain kind of dissolved after... Say, for instance, like you had a bad back, right? You got up and like after a couple of hours it went.
No.
The bad back stayed... So the pain of the back stayed with you?
It was pretty much continuous, you know, pretty much continuous. You'd be on and off sleeping. But as I said before, you know, you would go out. I could walk about.
I know, I saw you.
You know, I was in a lot of pain.
You
know, I saw you, I could walk about, I could work. Some days it was really bad. Beforehand, we'd actually sort of go walking and sort of semi-jog. And I thought to myself, oh, is it because I'm overweight at the back? And is it because I'm not wearing the right shoes? And it was all these things I was trying to think of so that I didn't have to sort of deal with what it could be. And there was no one really to speak to. And
so who do you reckon that you could say, looking back now, is there any forums or any sort of places you can go? What sort of help
I don't think there is.
So you can't ask your doctor and say, look, can I talk to anyone else externally about this, or is it only down to the doctor to give you the advice?
No, it was just down to the doctor to say, you know, take these tablets, take these patches, whatever.
When you went back there and said these are not working, what did they say?
Well, try these other ones then.
So really, they're really testing things out on you. So they're saying like, okay, if that doesn't work, that doesn't work, and they're just kind of trying to look at that. I mean, obviously they're trying to look at it. They don't want you to die, but the thing is, obviously, you know, you knew all along that there was something wrong with you.
Yeah, because it had gone on too long, and you know the doctors have tried. I probably had 6 or 7 types of medication. And when I went to the hospital, and they obviously must have thought about prostate cancer because they asked me various questions, but it was just questions. And at my age...
What sort of questions were...
It was a question of, really, it's like, do you get up in the middle of the night and go to the toilet?
And what other things? So that's a symptom.
Yeah,
that's a symptom. So getting up late at night is a symptom.
Yeah.
What are the other symptoms? Bad back?
Bad back.
Bad back. So you ticked one of them.
Yeah, but not necessarily. A bad back is a sort of side product. It's really the toilet and that sort of thing is the main thing.
Urine, no blood in urine.
No blood in urine.
So they say is if there's blood in urine,
then let's get you in, let's check you.
Okay.
But it wasn't until my insistence on that I really think I need a scan.
How long did it take for that insistence? How long did it take for you to turn around and go like, bam, I need to get in there. I
must say that was good. I was 2 hospital visits, and then when I said about the scan and the guy said, we've got to give you a rectal examination, I was like, that's fine.
I mean, I suppose really, like if you was, you was desperate, wasn't you?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah.
You was desperate.
Very, yeah.
So the thing is, what it is, I find a lot of, and I've looked at a lot of data on it, and the fact that the time it takes for a man to get the courage up to say, and also as well, one thing that seems to be common thread amongst all this is basically it's like if you had someone to talk about, so say for instance, like someone, unless someone's experienced what you're going through, experience that kind of and old Joe Bloggs, he had a bad back, and that ended up like that, and because my father, he had prostate cancer, and they've dealt with it, but the thing is, obviously, it was caught in time. Yours wasn't caught in time, so there must have been a period of time before that, whereas there was certain, because it sounds to me that he just come up like a silent assassin and just went bam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it kind of, it was like a silent assassin, and it kind of took you. And he goes, you know what? Yeah,
it was literally over a period of probably 4 or 5 months. Mr. Collins, you've got a bad back. Mr. Collins, you've got a bad back. Mr. Collins, you've got a bad back. Oh, you pulled some muscles, Mr. Collins. If it carries on, you have to come back to A&E.
So how did they ascertain that you pulled your back?
Well, I mean, I was at the hospital, and the guy could feel these parts of my back weren't right. And he went, I think you pulled a muscle.
Yeah.
And I went, really? And he said, these things happen.
He's like castrating someone and turning the trolley out and taking the tonsils out.
He said,
you know what I mean?
He said, these things happen. He said,
what do you mean these things happen?
Well, you pull muscles, don't you? It's quite common to pull a muscle. I mean,
of course it is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, David James, English footballer, pulled a muscle picking up his remote control. I
think I pulled a muscle today when I went to lean out and get something off of my windscreen wipers.
Yeah.
And I thought, damn. But I mean, like, I know that I've done it.
Exactly,
This was something totally different, wasn't it?
This was. I mean, I said, but you're saying there's 4 or 5 muscles I've pulled.
May I ask, did you turn around and say that, like, your job is your job's a stylist, yeah? Mm-hmm. So they go, obviously, you're on your feet all day. It could be that.
No, because
they didn't say that.
No, because obviously, as I was saying, that because I was teaching and I spent a lot of time working with the students on posture, that I've never had a bad back before in all the years I've worked.
And that's kind of one of them things you think yourself, well, it's like I've got these things called Dupuytren's on my hands. Right. Yeah, they're called, I only found out the other day for a radio show that these are to do with holding tools in your hands. Yeah. So I hold tools in my hands. I clean and restore buildings. So I hold these tools in my hands, and that's because of that. And I think, But the thing is, they turned around and told me that the only way they're going to do anything about them, anything about these hands, is when they turn into a claw.
Right.
So I said to him, like, that's really nice. I've got to wait for my hand to turn into a bloody claw before you do anything about it. I want to mean like Larry the Lobster. Yeah, I make light of it, but I guarantee you they're very painful.
Yeah.
But I know what it is. You understand what? You didn't know what it was.
No, I mean, I thought, I'm in my 50s.
What is to be expected?
You should really, if possible, every male, as soon as they hit 50, we should be screening for prostate cancer.
Why do you think that isn't so? Why do you think so?
It's just a massive.
Why do you think money?
Killer.
Yeah, but why do you think that there isn't such help?
I think we just don't. We sort of skim over it. We should be screening. It's not that difficult. It doesn't really cost that much. We do screen. A very good friend of mine, two of his family unfortunately passed away with it. So he gets tested straight away.
Did you get a chance? Yeah, because in the with breast cancer, there's a thing called the BRCA gene. Yeah. So say for instance, you turn around and say like, yeah, my great grandmother, my great great grandmother, my mother, and my auntie all died of this, and they can give you a test, right?
Yeah.
And they could give you a test, and it's called the BRCA gene, or that you've got this certain gene inside you. So once you get this test, you can then decide whether you can have the double vasectomy, or and why don't they do that with men?
I think they do to a certain extent.
What?
So if you have a history,
is there any history in yours?
No, as far as I know, none.
Yeah, so there's no history. Have you managed to find out at all, or did they ask you? Can you find out if there's any history?
No, it was literally it was a case of bad back, and I did actually speak to one person. He's a friend of mine, and I was saying to him, "Oh, my back's hurting." We were talking, and he said to me. And I knew nothing about prostate cancer at the time, nothing. And he said, I think I've got prostate cancer. And I went, oh. But then it was very quietly spoken. It's almost...
embarrassing?
Yeah, people think they might catch it. I know it sounds silly.
What do you mean? What, catch it off of... Is that? Yeah, but the thing is...
I think
there's no education, though, is there, really?
Men don't get educated in their body. Obviously things have come on, so much, so vastly in the last few years. Have you seen that advert with a box, when they wind the box up, like Jack in the Box? And it's this kind of it's look like what they're doing is they're saying that everyone's like a ticking time bomb. No.
And and then get yourself checked out. So what would you say that if you would have been screened in your 40s, would it have shown up?
It may not have shown up. It may have been lying dormant. It's all to do with PSA levels, and I may have had some sort of prostate cancer for 3 years. But it is so important.
It didn't just wait. You didn't just come.
No. It could have just been there, and slowly and slowly and slowly and slowly. That is why, we do need to have more education, more screening. So would you say regular screening, like every 2 years? Would that? I mean, when you're in your to be honest with you, I'm not an expert, but I think as soon as you're in those mid-50s, we should have some sort of screening, some sort of test. I mean, you MOT your car every year. You do, yeah. Do you understand what I mean? Well, you do, and it is. And the funny thing is about the MOTing of your car, it's only MOT'd on that day. When you drive out, you could go over now, and then it's your responsibility. That's right. The thing is, but now, if we catch prostate cancer soon enough, it's pretty manageable. It's pretty curable. Yeah, but yours is terminal. No, mine's gone far too long for that. Yeah. So this is what. Yeah. So I mean, when you said it's terminal, I mean, what impact was that? Because I saw you. Yeah. What impact on your life was that? This thing comes onto another sort of thing, because no one wants to blame share, and I don't really believe it was anyone's fault. Any doctor, hospital, or NHS, definitely not no one's fault particularly. There's no one. But when they did find out I did have cancer, they were fantastic. They were going to get me into guys, but then I had another bad back, another attack. They rushed me into hospital, moved everything forward. because literally I went to see my scan and I was about to walk out. And I sort of laugh about it now, and
what do you mean you meant to walk out?
I've been
you wasn't taking it seriously?
No, I had the scan, and I went to the ambulance ward a few days later, and they checked my bloods, and they went, "Great, Mr. Collins, we're all good to go. Can you just, we're just going to give you a prescription." So I went to get my prescription. I was at Lewisham Hospital, and lucky enough, there's quite a queue, because there invariably is. And the doctor come looking for me. And I thought to myself, this is not good news. But you've just told me that it's okay. So she said, come back with me. And I came back. And it was very much like going into the headmaster's office. You know, I said, please come into the consultant's office.
I've been in there.
You know that ain't good news. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's not to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And the woman said, hi, Mr. Collins, this might be a shock for you, but you've got prostate cancer. And I went, right. I went, okay then. And then literally you were going to give me an x-ray, and I said, I don't want an x-ray, I want to go home. I said, I want to go home. I said, I need to sort of quantify this in my head.
You need to soak it in, don't you?
Yeah, and the woman who's doing the x-rays said, look, just let him go. This is a big thing for someone sort of to take in. Just go home, and we will see you tomorrow at 9:00. And I went, great. And I can remember I went to the pub, and my back was still hurting. And I had a couple of drinks, and everyone's going, how's it going? Your back's still hurting? Okay, yeah, my back's still hurting.
Yeah.
And I came home, and my wife and my daughter was there. And I said, look, I've got some bad news. And they went, we know it's bad because you didn't ask us if we wanted to come for lunch with you or anything. I said, I've got cancer. Yeah. So that's a shock in itself. But when someone says to you, you've got cancer, and when the woman shows me the x-ray and says, you can see it, and I'm not condemning the doctor, but it was where the guy said my muscles were pulled. It's literally, that was the cancer. Yeah. But, you know, going through the stages, one minute I'm in there and guys were fantastic. But I said, don't worry, it's manageable. You can live 15 to 20 years. Oh. But then the guy saying to me, but then I leave the hospital, when I see him a consultant, he said, maybe 2. Maybe 2. So you go from 15 to 2. Yeah, I go from this is manageable with the right medication. Yeah. This is quite manageable. They even said to me, oh, it's almost like diabetes. I said, I don't feel too bad now. This is quite manageable. And the other guy saying to me, look, I can't really promise you 2 years. So do you think they were selling you a happy ever after? No, I think it was just that they didn't really know until they got more information. So why did they give you the information before they had the information? I know. It's building up false hopes, isn't it? Well, of course it is, yeah. You know? But, I mean, look, why would they do that? You know, like, I mean, these are some of the things that obviously, look, they're trying to give you the best care as possible. Yeah. I mean, the care was fantastic, and I do believe that at that point when they looked at everything, you know, when they first got it, it's like saying, like, the good news is you've got prostate cancer. Like, the bad news is, like, you've, like... Well, I'll tell you what the good news is. Do you understand what I mean? There's no good news in it, really. No. I mean, like, okay, look, the good news is that like, prostate cancer can be treated. Yeah. Yeah, it can be treated, right? But mine, unfortunately, has spread to my spine. So it was a case of, I don't know how to really explain it, because 1 minute you're feeling okay about that 15 years. Yeah, so prostate cancer, yeah, let me get this right. It obviously it's in the prostate. Yeah. And so is it normal that if you leave prostate cancer unchecked, it will turn into another form of cancer? It can spread. It can spread. So your primary cancer is your prostate.
Okay, so you get prostate cancer, so you can have liver cancer from that. You can
bowel
have
cancer,
bowel cancer,
spine cancer.
You can have spine cancer, bone cancer.
Yeah, bowel cancer's very, very common apparently from prostate, because the prostate either goes to the left or to the right.
Okay.
So
I'm just trying to get an understanding, because like if you don't know what this stuff does, this is the importance of it. You know, it's about prolonging your life, isn't it?
It is.
You
definitely.
know, it's about prolonging your life and kind of and having a healthy life, as opposed to you've got something that you want to treat. You know, if they can turn around and say, like my father's case, he's got treated, in his 70s and stuff like that. You know, I'll give you a story actually. My son, when he was 15, he had a tumour on his bladder, and he was 15, and they said, look, it's the size of a golf ball, and they decided to give him treatment. Yeah, you know, and they wanted to cut it out. And they said it was really serious. He had the symptoms, you know, passing his blood in his urine and all that, When he went in there was all old men in the room, and they said that if he was in his 40s, that would definitely be cancer. That would definitely a bladder cancer, you know? Yeah. So, age is a big thing, isn't it? But the thing is, okay, look, if that come out when he was 15, surely they should check him every 5 years.
You would have thought so.
You know, you would have thought, wouldn't you? So, but my son is like, oh, well, do you know what, Dad? I'm alive, and kind of you get that he wants to live his life, and he's 30 now, and you know what, like you would think that having that at a young age, you would then turn around and, because it doesn't matter how much. Look, this is another thing. How much I put, the trauma of that for him was massive. So it doesn't matter how much I push him. He's like, oh, no, don't worry. Something comes up. But how long do you wait? Do you know, how long do you wait for that? So what it is now, you've been told that you've got terminal cancer.
Yeah.
And was there anything like here's a list of people? Yeah.
No.
Right. I go and like, you know what? There's some help groups.
Yeah.
You know, like
the problem is, well, they can't really, but there's no help till you got it.
What do you mean there's no help till you got it?
Well, there is some information about prostate cancer, whatever, and how to help diagnose yourself, but not a lot out there really. But then once you've got it, you've got Macmillan's to help you. I'm fortunate enough to be at Guy's, and they've got a thing called a Dimblesea Centre, and you can go there with your problems, and they even have acupuncturists to stop my hot flushes.
So hot flushes now.
Oh yeah.
So let's go through the hot flushes. What I mean, did your hot flushes come after the diagnosis?
No, my hot flushes are all to do with my drugs that I'm on, my medication.
Oh, okay.
I have massive hot flushes, but they are massive hot flashes, and anything can trigger them off. It might be what I'm drinking. I found that sometimes I'm a bit anxious.
So your feelings?
Yeah, my feelings. My heart's
so the feelings
going a
could
bit.
give you a hot flush,
and I will just break out, and it won't be a sort of flush of bright, blushing redness of the cheeks. Yeah, I will sweat profusely. You know, you see me, and it's just poof, and I'm like, wow, it's a hot flush. But yeah, I just wish we had more. You know, men do need to talk about it, need to spread the word, and I'm not some evangelical prostate cancer pastor now. But I know for a fact that people I know have said to me, you know, cheers, Si, I check myself out, you know, because to all intents and purposes, you look absolutely fine. And I think right now, I look fine. You could not tell I'm ill. So
if, say, for instance, if everyone turned around and got themselves checked and encouraged one person to get checked, that will be a good thing?
Of course, it's like anything. We do need, it all comes down to that. Men don't want to speak about it. When my friend with his bad back, and they said it was this, it was that, it was various things. Lucky enough, he hasn't got cancer. It was something completely different, which they were able to cure. If not completely, enough to give him a easy working life.
Is there such thing as a cure?
There are various things that they can. Prostate cancer, when caught early, is quite easily curable.
So how would it be caught early if there's no symptoms?
I think that's right.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, so that's why it's no one's fault.
Yeah. So say for instance, there was not mandatory, but obviously, okay, you get to 30, you get to 40, you get to 50.
Maybe you get to 50 and look, if you want, why don't you? When I went, it was literally, I laugh about it now, but it's like, please stick your finger up my bum so that once we've done that, I can then have a scan, because this is ludicrous.
So, okay, to try and get this right, now, we now can't physically go into the doctors. Yeah?
Right.
How on earth, this is the thing about men don't talk, right? Yeah. How on earth am I going to ring up the doctor and say, doctor, I want to get checked out for prostate cancer? Yeah, right. All they're going to do is send you to a hospital or the NHS.
Yeah, well, they've got to send you.
But the thing is, where's that kind of... it's like straight away you're past the bout, obviously that you have to do that, I mean, I personally think I was very unfortunate, but I do believe that we should be talking about it. I see, you watch Sky Sports and you've got the little silver men on the people's lapels. Mm-hmm. But that's not enough?
That isn't enough. I mean, for months, people are going, what's that? That's some man wellness thing. What's that mean? Bowel cancer for men is dreadful as well.
Men get breast cancer as well.
Breast cancer
men get breast cancer.
Yeah. Of course they do.
When I found out about that, apparently just as many men die of breast cancer than women do.
Yeah.
You think yourself like it's like one of these things that they're hidden, until you find them.
Yeah.
Hidden until you find them, and you think, okay, now we found it. So what? I mean, may I ask what your hopes and your dreams are at this present moment? I know you live in every day, but
yeah,
I know you want to know, like we all want. Simon, it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
When I heard you first of all, and I remember I had that conversation with you, and kind of. That was devastating for you.
Oh, it was.
But the thing is, you're such a happy guy.
I try to.
Well, you are. Yeah, you're funny. You're happy.
You do have. You are morbid. It doesn't go away. I don't wake up every day thinking tomorrow's going to be the last day. It is there.
Depression. I know, but it's really hard because
more anxiety.
What's the anxiety? Where's it driven from? Where's the anxiety come from?
When it first came, was when I sort of left the hospital and I could walk, and then I was in bed and I was quite ill, and I'd got up and I'd go to the bathroom, and then after a couple of weeks I found I couldn't stand, or I couldn't walk, and they said to me stupid things and it annoyed me, and I know they're wrong.
What was that? What was that sort of thing?
It was because you spent so much time in hospital and in bed, your muscles have given way. They're it's almost withered. And I said, that's impossible. I said, because when I was at the hospital, I used to get up 3 times a night, carry the machine and walk the 20 foot to the bathroom, come back with the machine and screw the machine back into the stand. So at the most, I've been here 10 days and I don't think anyone's muscles, even with the injections they give me to kill my testosterone, would wither that much. So, and it was things like that was so it was so anxious because they said to me, we're going to give you this radiotherapy now. We're going to get you for 5 days, and because otherwise you might not walk again. was that?
I mean, what was the, like, okay, they've got to give you radiotherapy because you hear all this stuff, didn't you? My sister, she had a skin cancer, and she ended up having radiotherapy and stuff like that, because radiotherapy doesn't make your hair fall out, does it?
No,
it's chemotherapy.
Chemotherapy.
See, this is what I mean. We don't talk enough to understand about kind of the different types of chemo, radiotherapy, and etc. So, okay, so your life today, what's going on with that?
Tomorrow I'm going for a scan, as it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Then next week I've got an appointment with the doctor, with the consultant, and so far it's all good, you know. My PSA has gone up a little bit.
What's PSA?
PSA is how they judge the scale of your prostate cancer. Most people's are 0 to about 1, I believe. Anything when you hit in the 2s to 3s, there can be cancer there. When I started off, mine was 464. So I was stage 4 cancer in my prostate, but where it had spread to the bottom of my spine. And if without the radiotherapy, if it grew any more, it would have touched my spinal cord, and I would have walked again. And then I've got another few patches sort of over to the left, and also it's sort of gone through my skeletals, it's gone through my bones. So actually I'm on a clinical trial drug now, which keeps me pretty good most of the day.
And did you know, when they opted for this clinical trial, I mean, obviously you try anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean?
Yeah, well, yeah, they.
I mean, it's got, you know, hopefully it doesn't make you worse.
No.
Do you know, it's there to make you better, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the guy did say to me, he said, you know, I can't promise you'll be kicking a football in 2 years. He said, I really can't promise you anything. But he said, I reckon, you know, he said, you know, and this is when I talked to this about you, it's quite strange. The guy said to me, you've got a 65% chance of living 2 years. 65%? Chance of living 2 years. So, as you say about men don't talk, obviously my friends come to visit me, you know, and I've got one friend who was going to ask the big question. No one else is going to ask. People will say, how is it? How are you? How's your wife? How's the family? How are you feeling? And I'd say, I can't walk. I look dreadful. I really did look quite sallow. And it was only one person that said to me, he went, so how long you got left then? And I said, well, they don't tell you Thursday at 3:30. You know, but he was the only one person who sort of would come out and say how long you got left. Because it's a question that it's so hard to ask. And, you know, when we're talking about men don't talk, and it's when men go out in groups, and I think this is part of what we're discussing today, apart from just my prostate cancer, is, you know, is in a group you don't want to talk about anything really emotional, definitely not. Physical, only if it's something to do with work. Yeah. You know. How
about the fun arts, like sex?
Sex is okay.
Sex is okay. We talk about that a lot.
Yeah, talk about that. Sex is that gets kudos sometimes. Yeah. That gets laughs or great kudos. Sex does.
Sports, if you're into sports.
Sports gets you kudos.
Cars, we like a car. Watches.
Watches. Obviously, watches and cars.
We love a watch.
We love a watch.
Like clothes.
Clothes all the time.
Yeah, but that's unusual. You know, that's like for suppose really. I mean, for the modern man, clothes are really a big thing.
Oh, they are now. Yeah, being I guess metrosexual male. And
I mean, I know you love a shirt. Yeah, and shoes.
Oh, shoes.
I mean,
I have more shoes than my wife.
You've got more centipede with you'll have room in the wardrobe.
I've got loads of shoes. But you know, it's very so we have become more metrosexual.
Explain the word like metrosexual.
Well, they call it metrosexual. It's another thing to give us another tag, isn't it? It's a man who's, cares about his personal appearance, and maybe they say moisturise. I mean, my wife worked in the cosmetics or beauty
So
care
you've got
business.
a ready stream moisturiser.
So, yeah, I've got moisturisers, scrub.
I did see
stuff
something
for my
on the other
eyes.
day.
There's all stuff.
There was man's makeup.
No, I don't know. I don't go far as man's makeup.
I did see that advertised the other day, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna advertise them, but it was man's makeup, right?
No, but some people use them, and it's good for people that are worried about blemishes on their skin or they want to tone it.
You know what? Horses for courses.
It's all cool with me.
I don't care if you want to wear guy liner, but
people laugh at me all the time about my shoes, my scarves.
I've got to admit, I love this colour. I mean, it's a bit of me, this colour.
Oh, thank you.
I do love this colour.
Yeah, it's normally blue or blue instead of beige.
I always wear blue. I love blue.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, so okay. You seem very, very...
I've got my head wrapped around this thing.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say.
And what I say to everybody, I say, I don't let this thing define me. Mm-hmm. Even though this thing is going to kill me in the end, it does not define who I am. I'm still the person who worries about, worries about his haircut, worries about...
Yeah, but you are a stylist.
Yeah, his shoes. I worry about, is this the right jacket? Does this match that? I am still the same person. It just happens that I have a disease that I know will kill me in time. And people say, oh, you could... Some people clearly say, well, I could die tomorrow. I said, you could die tomorrow, but only if you're stupid and you do something to make yourself die. Hopefully you won't die tomorrow and you will live a long life. Whereas mine, it's looking like it's going to be quite heavily shortened. The odds against you living longer than me are pretty good. I've probably got a couple, maybe 3 years in me, hopefully. You don't know. And as time goes on, medical science moves on. And we saw in COVID that we cured COVID in a few weeks. I mean,
I wouldn't say cured it, but...
Well, no, we've had a vaccine, didn't we, in a few weeks or a few months. Cured it, but, no, sorry. But we had a vaccine. It would be great medical science if they could find something that not just for me, because there are millions of different cancers.
Well, maybe going on this trial with this.
I'm hoping,
it will kind of work. It will kind of help others.
And that's the thing, as we say, when you're out talking with the chaps or whatever, I mean, people don't want to talk about their feelings, because I think the one thing is that still being a man is to be ridiculed in a group of your peers. I mean, I think that's why men don't talk. It's almost if someone calls you...
Don't feel afraid.
Yeah, they're not going to say... And if someone does call you and say, Si, do you want to meet up for a chat about something? I'm thinking to myself...
But you done that with me, didn't you?
Yeah.
You said to me, do you want to... I've got something to tell you.
Yeah.
You said to me...
to people I know.
You said to me, I've got something to tell you. And I remember kind of coming out there and coming out after speaking to you, and I was like wow, what can I do? Do you understand what I mean? It's like,
which is great. But this is, I think this, but when I'm talking about emotional problems, men don't really like to speak to other people. And I know from myself that when people say, I want to speak to you about something, your open isn't anything serious.
Yeah.
And the person seems to get it out as quick as humanly possible, because then it's over. It's like ripping the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
So men, we do not discuss our feelings in front of people.
Yeah.
Because we do not want to be ridiculed amongst our peers.
So if you was a young man, would you suggest to get checked out?
I would, yeah. I think it...
And don't worry about the... because obviously that will involve someone sticking their finger up your bottom.
Yes.
Yeah. And
they are very gentle.
Yeah.
With you.
Depends
they are very gentle.
Depends how big their hands are.
They are.
Like if you had hands like shovels, you're going to go, hold on a sec, mate. Can I have your mate that's smaller?
Yeah, probably. I think I think they are very gentle with you, and they are very kind, and they do it very nicely.
And also as well,
they are professionals.
That whole thing around, majority of men that actually do the examination? Or is it kind of majority?
I don't know. I presume.
Would that make a difference?
I don't know.
Do you
really.
Say, for instance, you're in that situation. You need to get kind of yourself checked out, and you're looking about getting yourself checked out, and you think, "Well, fucking hell, like I've got like."
When I was in there, I mean, it was.
I mean, it doesn't make no difference.
It doesn't really bother me. I mean, it was.
It doesn't make no difference.
No,
but
it was a male doctor.
I'm just trying to. If anyone is thinking about getting a test, to say, don't worry about it. They're doing their job.
Yeah, I don't know if to have a test for prostate cancer actually involves a rectal examination.
It does involve a camera, or it does involve. Don't they do blood tests?
They can do blood tests.
Can they do blood tests?
I think so. And yeah, I had loads of blood tests, but never was they ever thought that I had prostate cancer.
Okay, so
no one bothered with cameras and things.
Can you ask your doctor? And say,
I think people should.
What, you can ask as request, or it's not there?
No, I don't know if it's there, but you should.
So you can go and ask your doctor tomorrow. You go, look, I want to be tested.
I think so. In America, it's a real big thing.
Yeah, because in America they pay, even though we pay via our taxes, in America they pay for their healthcare.
Obviously, so if they can add something.
So obviously it's like paying for it.
Yeah, I think it is something that's very important.
Because what it is, what we're talking about now is, if you're in doubt, or you wanna reassure your family, your loved ones that you're going to have longevity of life, and that's not going to come up. Go and get yourself checked.
I think get yourself checked. It's not a big deal.
Okay, so what are your wishes today? We spoke earlier about what. I mean, come on, we're going to have a bit of fun. What are your wishes?
My wishes, what, personally for me or for everybody?
Okay, we could go for personally for you, and
for
then we
me.
Okay.
For me, I want to make sure I live as long as possible. The people say, "How long have you got?" And I go, "As long as I can."
Okay, let's have a bit of fun. So, what would you like? Moonswatch?
Oh, I'd love a Panerai. If anyone's out there, I'd really love a Panerai watch.
A Panerai?
A Panerai,
please. Okay, that's good. A Panerai.
A Panerai, please.
A Panerai.
Anyone would do.
Come on, we're having a laugh, right? Yeah. I mean, come on, you.
Yeah. I'd like something now, because I'm on these drugs.
Yeah.
Which have, as I said, I was never small.
Yeah.
They made my love handles really big now, so I don't know if I can have liposuction.
Yeah.
You know, I really would like that, because I would like liposuction, because now
you're lipo, yeah.
Yeah, because they've killed all my testosterone.
Yeah. How does that feel as a man?
It's awful. It's awful.
So give me some stuff. Give me some stuff.
It's just awful. You have no sex drive anymore.
Libido's gone, yeah.
Castration, literally.
So yeah.
And where I did actually, so when I was big, I sort of V'd in with a little bit of love handles. Now it's square. You know, and they are love handles. They're more than a handful to get hold of, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah. So wishes for your family. What are wishes? If you want to wish your family anything, or you've got a live audience here now. Well, so what do you want to say? What do you want to say to your family?
To my family, I love them so much, and they've been really cool.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very difficult for them.
Yeah.
And it's difficult when people see me, and they say to me, the first time they saw me, say in December of last year, they go, "God, you look like you were going to die." And they see me now, or in the last 5 months, they go, "You look really great."
Yeah.
So it's hard to quantify in your head that this guy who looks really good is going to die.
Yeah.
But for every man out there, please talk about it. It's not a big deal, and just get checked out.
Yeah.
Because, you know, mine was a freak accident. You know, mine was a freak accident. Don't let yours be a freak accident, because you can't control it. I couldn't control mine.
I get it all the time,
Yeah.
100%. I mean, this is a message, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
Your message now is, say, you know what, get yourself checked out.
Get yourself checked out.
Don't worry about it. It's okay.
It's not. It's not a massive trauma. Yeah. It's not embarrassing. I know various people that have said to me now, you know, "Simon, thanks a lot, because I had myself checked. You know, other people said to me, thanks a lot, because they look healthy. I looked healthy. I had a bit of a bad back. You know, someone said to me last week, they went, "God, go to the toilet about 10 times in a night." And they said, "Oh, yeah, but I did drink about 7 pints." And I said, "But you finished those 7 pints at 4 o'clock in the afternoon."
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not saying you must do. Just be vigilant, and where possible, get yourself checked out.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing embarrassing. It's no
Ring
big
up
deal.
the doctor. Get yourself checked out. Get the ball rolling.
Get the ball rolling. It's no big deal.
Get the ball rolling.
Yeah. Ask them.
Yeah, get the ball
All you
rolling.
can do is ask. They will
men don't
provide
talk,
it.
see?
No,
So
they don't. They don't say anything.
Chance to talk, chance to say something.
Yeah.
Well, look, that's a fantastic... You know what, Simon? I love you so much.
No,
thank you.
No, mate.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing your story with us. And hopefully the story that Simon's talked about can help others. You know, what Simon was saying, get yourself checked out. Go and have a look at this stuff. Don't rely on having a bad back. Don't rely on...
no, definitely.
Just don't rely on that, you know?
Don't rely... Make you take control of the situation.
Yeah.
And don't wait if buts. It doesn't take long. Just go out there and do it. If it's okay, you're fine, aren't you? You haven't lost anything, have you?
Do you know what? Like, if your engine management light come on your car, you'll think to yourself, I need to get that checked out.
Yeah.
So this is like you're like the engine management light, yeah?
Yeah, a great friend of mine, he has an MOT, a body MOT every year because of his insurance.
Yep.
Check him out.
Yeah,
He gets checked out every year.
Well, this is fantastic message. Yeah.
No worries.
You know, I would like to say thank you to our sponsors, Loved Ones Forever. And you've just been with Reggie and Simon, and he shared a most fantastic message.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure,
You know,
Reg.
as I say, you know what? I wish you well, Simon.
Thank you.
I'll see you soon, and good luck with your journey.
Thank you very much
Thank
indeed.
you very much. Thank you.